Hey everyone, I am here with Erasmus, and I think you have some other alternative names there. And he is a younger millennial, and he is becoming a mover and a shaker. And I found a cool video from him. He has a YouTube channel, which I will link in the description. And if I don't remember to link it in the description, make sure you flog me in the comments and I will add it. Um, but so he seemed pretty cool from his videos, and he has like, what do you have, like, was it 138 subs?
It's actually up to 200 now.
Oh, okay. But so then it may have actually been 138 when I found your channel.
Yeah. When
Oh,
you found me, it was about 138, 150, somewhere around there.
okay. Yeah, so I might actually. I have an insane mind for remembering these sorts of things, so that it might actually be right then. I don't know. But anyway, so he's up to like 200 subscribers, and hopefully some of you will see this and think he's cool and go subscribe to him. So tell us about what led you to open up a YouTube channel, Erasmus.
Well, originally I wanted to start a YouTube channel about doing like dip reviews. I got the idea from a YouTuber by the name of Outlaw. If you look at some of my earlier
Oh, he's
videos,
another political YouTuber, right?
uh, he is somewhat of a political YouTuber, but also not. He
Like
will
anti
comment.
SJW, like you?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not necessarily anti SJW because I got plenty of I have plenty of SJW friends. They just have a lot more respect for people around them and their opinions than most of the extreme left do. Uh,
Well, that's kind of when
but
people say SJW, like that's what they mean. They mean like the
right,
insane left.
right.
So like when you laugh at the insane left, I mean there's people who are on the left, like if you've ever heard of Chris Reagan, he's one
Oh
of the
yeah.
more well
Yeah.
known, and he's falls in the category of like anti SJW YouTuber. A lot of them are gamers because they got into the anti SJW YouTubing during Gamergate, but
Yep.
as time passes, the number of YouTubers who do that sort of content, it's moving away from being like they're all gamers to,
Yeah.
so I do all kinds of different stuff. A lot of like culture war, politics, but not like hardcore politics. I usually don't talk about actual politicians. I usually just talk about like the ideas behind politics or cover vocabulary words behind politics. But anyway, enough about me. It's we're here for the my audience to hear about you. So, can we give your name, your first name?
So do you want my real first name or do
I'm
you want my real first name?
I mean, do you want to give that to my audience? I know you've said it before, and I
I
know.
mean, it's perfectly fine. The name that I have for YouTube is actually more so for my rap name. So,
Oh yes,
um,
that's the other thing is he does music like rap, country, metal, fusion of country and metal, fusion of rap and metal, fusion of rap and country. I love that the idea of I would call it fusic.
yes, absolutely. With my music, I definitely look to artists like Ryan Upchurch and Adam Calhoun. But my channel right now, because I'm really broke. Most of my money's going towards my music, and I'm working really hard to try to get that sort of thing out. But right now, since I'm so broke, my YouTube channel is being more focused on, like with the previous video that I just posted about the man pawns and all that other crap. Um, as I was talking to you a little bit earlier about how I view the world, I hate everybody equally. I mean, that's a step. I mean, I don't necessarily hate everybody, but that's just how I look at the world. Everybody gets the same amount of respect as you give me. So from the moment that I meet a person, you have my utmost respect. And once you lower your respect level, I lower my respect level.
Or you act
Once you
like an
raise it,
insane leftist and promote man puns.
exactly, exactly. And here's the thing about that video is that what most people will not understand is that I'm not making these videos to educate you or trying to uh, push my political side. I'm making these videos to point out the dumb shit in it.
Right, like I called it edutainment. You are educating people, but you're entertaining them first. You're entertaining them with the insanity of the left. And I know you didn't like the term, but I said, like, you're basically an anti SJW YouTuber. But, you know.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it the way that most people look at it, the way that they view SJWs as extreme leftists, then yes, I am very anti SJW. I cannot stand the extreme left as well as I cannot stand the extreme right. The extreme right is just as bad as the extreme left. They're both bad. But at the same time, the right, the extreme right really has some logic behind their reasoning. As to where the left, their logic is my feelings. That's their logic. And I cannot stand that. And it's like, okay, you obviously grew up your entire life getting participation awards.
Yep, exactly. So you're like a millennial, but you're like an anti-millennial.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I guess you could say that because like, uh, I, during high school, I used to not get along with a lot of people because a lot of my classmates were very for Obama and very for Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and the whole Clinton Foundation and all that. And I was very Donald Trump and Second Amendment and I was living the RHEC life to the max. Like it's my life. I live
RHEC?
it the way that I want. RHEC basically means raise hell and eat cornbread.
Oh, okay. Raise hell
It's
and eat cornbread. Okay.
yeah, it's a phrase that rednecks and country boys use to
Uh,
say.
yeah, so I'm Rust Belt, not redneck, but we're getting more and more similar. Like, our cultures are kind of merging. But I live in New York City, which is not Rust Belt, but I feel like I'm still, like, Rust Belt at heart. Like, my father was blue collar. So, like, I was always taught to vote Democrat, but I've, I've always been a conservative because I was just like, yeah,
Yeah,
I think I'm going to do my own thing. I'm not going to do that. My mom was like,
if you think about it, a tree grows from its roots, and where are your roots? They're planted right where you started and how you were raised. The tree grows and you branch out to different things and you actually grow into an individual person. And that's what most people seem to forget about because the roots are so buried deep into the ground that you just forget where you come from. You forget who you were and how you were raised, and you branch out into this open minded kind of person that you just completely forget where you came from and how you started out. And I think that's the problem with today's generations, especially in the millennials and the Generation Z and all that other stuff. They forget the fundamentals of life and respect and the mannerisms that they need in life.
right, but I mean, the teachers and the cultures are actively teaching people various aspects meant to rip apart our society.
I can
So,
actually give a good example of this because I just remembered, because me and my grandma, we were talking about this just a little while ago about back when I was in middle school, I had this English teacher who was very pro Obama
mm,
when he was running for his very first election. And she would just push the political agenda on us all. Like, she would say exactly what his things were and how great he would be for this country and how great it would be for our country to have the very first black president. And in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, not really. But she brainwashed us to the point where I ended up being an Obama supporter up until I got into high school and was able to understand things and research things for myself and realize how bad he actually was.
right, and it's funny because there's actually a lot of um, politically conservative YouTubers who are black. And
Exactly.
basically all of them, there's very few of them who are people who are always conservative. Amazing Lucas, if you know who he is, he was always conservative. He also did a video about the man pawns. Um,
I gotta go watch that now.
yeah, his videos are hilarious. Anybody who has not checked out Amazing Lucas's channel, you need to check it out. But so he was always conservative because his mother was a Christian. And he said in an interview on another channel, which I happened to like sub to another channel, and then I opened up the old videos from this guy. I was like, oh, let me look at his old videos, and I was like, he interviewed Lucas? No way! So he goes on this other channel, Viva Frei, who's a Montreal litigator turned YouTuber. So basically he's a lawyer, but in Canada. So he does vlogs, but with a law in the middle instead of a log in the middle. And so basically he like breaks down the lawsuits that are all over the news, and he tries to be very neutral about it. But he also has interviewed Lucas at least twice, I think 3 times. And so in one of the interviews, Lucas was telling him that his mom had like Trinity Broadcasting Network on like day and night, 24/7 in his house growing up. And he had all kinds of strict rules. And he said it was very different from, because he grew up in a black neighborhood, but like, you know, he couldn't play with the other kids. And so Viva asked him, you know, what was it like politically where you grew up? Was it like blue, red, mixed, whatever? And I mean, I'm sure that it was blue, because he said he grew up he said the same thing. I'm sure, you know, people were all Democrats because he grew up in a black neighborhood. But, you know, people didn't used to, it wasn't until, you know, like you hit the nail on the head. It wasn't until Obama ran for president that's right when politics got crazy. And then, of course, it got crazier when Trump ran. And now, like,
here's the thing that
everything's insane
about the whole Obama and Trump situation. Like, I don't really pay much attention to politics. I try to stay out of it as much as possible.
Well, you can come to me with your questions. Anytime you have questions, because one of the reasons why I never used to get into the news and politics was because it was too confusing for me. I would turn on the news, and if you don't follow it,
with the Obama and the Trump situation is that everyone is all about the diversity, and yes, America was built on diversity and immigration and all that other stuff. Like, if you really think about it, yes, people from England came over and took over the Americas from the Native Americans. Yes, we are all technically illegal immigrants, but you also got to realize that we have gotten to the point in our society where illegal immigration, I don't have the numbers with me right now, but last I heard, over 80% of all drug use, illegal guns, rape, sex trafficking, all of that comes from coyotes and illegal immigration.
Right. I am going to stop you though. You said we were all originally illegal immigrants. The reality is we were settlers, because the Indians didn't really like have a concept of them owning the land. And there's actually a story I've heard over and over again, even before I lived in New York City, about how when we gave like a bunch of beads to them to buy Manhattan from them, and it's kind of a joke that like we bought Manhattan for like 5 beads or whatever it was. But also built into that story is how they kind of like, they didn't even understand that they were being paid for the land, because they just kind of moved on the land, and there was no concept of like, okay, this is my plot of land. If you come on my land, I'm going to shoot you. Like, that wasn't within their culture. They didn't own land. It was almost like what communism aspires to be, but isn't. They lived in tribes, and the whole tribes moved as a whole. But on the other hand, if a different tribe came into their contact, they would kill them, but I guess they didn't have I guess they didn't feel they had claims on Manhattan, and also the idea of buying land was completely foreign to them. It was just you kill the other tribe for what they have. You know, you either kill them or nothing. There's no like peace treaties, there's no buying things. Like, those concepts did not exist. And also, I mean, you figure, I think there was maybe 1 million Indians in all of what we now consider continental U.S. We now have 360 million people. Those million people were spread out all over. So it was very easy for us to move, a couple thousand or 1 million or whatever people into the U.S. and be on this land. And yeah, the Indians were here, but were we really bumping heads with them?
See, here's my view on that is that the only reason I say we were illegal immigrants is that we were not here before. That's the only reason I say
Yeah, I'll
that.
give you that. I'll give you that.
And yeah, so like the, we were not illegal immigrants. Yes, I know that, but at the same time, we were just because we were not here before them, which is completely understandable. I get that whole side of the story, but at the same time, it was in England, the population density was
Yeah,
if
England,
you
Europe was
the
bursting at the
population
seams, and here it was like
versus
empty.
England versus the United States back before we settled here, mass difference, like overpowering kind of difference
Well, even like, yeah,
with the populace.
yeah. I mean, even if you go back to like the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, I think there was only 100 million people, maybe even less, in all of what we now consider the United States. So,
Exactly.
That's
see,
why, like,
that
when the
that
Italians.
was literally the only reason why I said we were illegal immigrants was because we were not here first. I get that side of the story. I do not 100% agree with using the term we were illegal immigrants. I do not agree with that at all, but that is the only reason why I use that phrase.
Yeah.
I just want to be clear on that.
But, yeah, and I mean, regarding diversity, I feel like they make such a big deal out of it. Like, why can't we just be different without everything having to be like, okay, there's 13% of blacks. We need 13% of this, or this school is in LA and 40% of LA is black. Therefore, we have to have 40% of our school be black kids. And if we don't meet that from rich, because I've looked at like some of the prep schools that I've developed this like weird sort of, how most girls follow celebrities? Something I've not really ever done, with a handful of exceptions. I've never been one of those celebrity obsessed people. And I think most of the celebrities I would have followed would be guys, because it's like Metallica and Scottie Pippen. Like, those would be the celebrities that I've like kind of like learned about and known about. Not like the typical ones like a Kim Kardashian and a Paris Hilton. And so I've actually developed this like odd hobby recently that I'm curious about the children of certain celebrities. And it's weird to me because it's like, well, it started. You know how the whole thing started? Hashtag Pippin was trending on Twitter. So I looked up Scottie Pippen. I was like, oh, I loved him when I was in high school. So then I like looked him up, and I hadn't. That's when I actually started using Instagram again. So I looked him up on Twitter and Instagram, and then I like looked up his kids' Instagrams, and one of his kids has a Twitter, and one of them might have a Twitter, but he doesn't tweet, or I don't know if it's his or if it's an impersonator. But anyway, and then I guess his daughter has a Twitter, but I don't really look at hers. I look at his sons, and then hit the high school that the sons go to. Because I started looking at, like, the pictures, and I'm, like, sitting there, and I'm like, this kid, it's funny because every single one of his friends is, like, also the child of a celebrity, and I always vaguely had a sense that children of celebrities mixed with other children of celebrities. But I had never really, like, had it in front of my face like that. It's so weird, like, so I'm looking at, like, one of his pictures or one of his comments or whatever, and he's mixing with like like, well, you're not as old as me, but one of them was, it was like Robinson Pete. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like Holly Robinson Pete from back in the 90s on TV? And I Google it, and she comes up, not someone with a separate name. So I'm like, Wikipedia, down to personal life, and sure enough, it's her kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then
Mm.
like I run into another one, and I'm like, the last name, and I'm like, that sounds like even, and then I looked up, I'm like, okay, I gotta look at like this school's website. So I'm looking at the school's website, and that's where I came across, like, from my example. They say, like, they have some bit about, like, we like to have a diverse. Theirs wasn't too bad. The school that Scotty's kids, well, one of them already graduated. The school that they go to isn't too bad, but Bronny just transferred into their school, and I looked up the school he used to go to, and they have like a
Mm.
whole like diversity and inclusion team, and like the stuff on their website is just like, oh, it's very like they lightly admit that if they can't get enough black people from the children of celebrities and so on and so forth who have enough money to pay their $40,000 a year tuition, that they do give some people scholarships. And I'm willing to bet you they give them scholarships to meet their little, diversity quota that they've imposed on
Diversity
themselves.
quota.
What's
Oh
that?
my. Their diversity quota.
Well, yeah, they're like, you can tell that they're very leftist. The school, and
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, it's not a surprise that LeBron James had sent his kids there until now the oldest is in high school, so now he's going to the best basketball school. I think west of the Mississippi. like
So
I
here's something that I saw that I actually want to bring up real quick. I'm actually getting ready to do a YouTube video on this. I'm probably gonna record it either today or tomorrow. But there was this YouTube video that just came out. It was another ad. But you know how like the transgender community has been really bombarding the sports industry.
Yeah, they've had in high school and maybe even some college. They're starting to have
Men
biological males compete as girls. That's the
Mhm.
big joke. Like, if you can't make the team, just like put on a wig and play for the girls.
Now, see, here's the thing. There
I
was a commercial made just yesterday about women saying that they are not given a chance due to the transgender community in their sports. Now,
there.
if you watch it, and
I
I
believe it.
encourage you that you do, I might send you the link.
Send me the link,
Um,
yes, please.
I will definitely send you the link then. But this basically it it sh- it just shows how much even the women don't even want the transgender men in their sports as much as we don't, because we see how unfair it is. We know the stats that men are typically more physical than women. And
Right.
when they go into a women's sports like women's wrestling or women's track or something like that,
Yeah, track is a big one where they've had problems.
they're typically stronger, they're typically faster. Uh, it just basically takes women out of the equation, and it destroys their chances in being in the sport. And you hear this all the time on the news. Woman, a transgender woman wins state championship for NCAA, and I'm just
I
like,
don't think
well,
the
yeah, no, sure.
NCAA is allowing it. I think they're one of the
I know it was the NCAA, but it's just a
Um, but yeah, absolutely, Lucas. If you do, you already sub to Amazing Lucas, or you're gonna go sub to
Mhm.
him because now, so he covers that a lot.
Right.
And then Daily Caller also covers it a lot. But like there was a real bad incident in.
All it reminds me of is that State Farm commercial. Well, she's a guy, so.
Right. So in Connecticut, there was an incident where the state finalists in Connecticut, I think this was 2018, like in the spring of 2018, so like a whole school year and a hair ago. Um,
Mhm.
they for the finales, I think it was in May of 2018, the top 8 go on to like a New England type
Yeah.
conference where they actually run that race in front of colleges to try to get a scholarship for colleges. So each of the top 8 from every state goes on to that competition. The girl that came in, or maybe it's the top 6, but the top 2 were trans,
Mhm.
and the girl who was like at the very cutoff of like she got cut out, but she would have just made it if they hadn't been there. She became kind of outspoken. She was like, she had kind of a shy demeanor about it. You could tell she was like, I don't want to hate them or whatever, but this isn't fair, you
Well, see,
know?
that's the thing is that the left has made it to such a point where it makes people afraid to call them out on their bullshit.
But on
And
the other hand, the transgender seems to be the extremes that they're taking it to. We're
mhm.
starting to see a lot of people, if you tell Democrats about a lot of these incidences, right away they agree with the conservatives. So earlier today, I was at a friend's house, and um, I was telling her about. Did you hear about the Texas case? You didn't hear about it,
I
did you?
don't think so.
So I was
No.
telling her about the Texas case, and she ended up agreeing with me. So I'll tell you about the Texas case, and I'm sure you'll agree with me.
Mhm.
There was a married couple. They got married a little older. They had a set of twins through IVF. I guess she already had other kids. I don't know, because
Okay.
recently I saw that she has an older daughter. But anyway, so they had a set of twins in 2010, and when the twin, I think they're for. I guess it doesn't matter if they're fraternal or identical, but so when one of the twin boys was when the twin boys were 3 years old, one of them tells his father he's a girl. And so the father turns on his cell phone camera and he's like, who told you you were a girl? Where is this coming from? And the little boy's like, Mommy says I'm a girl. Mommy says I'm a girl. I like girls. I like girls. Well, now the kid is 7, and for the last year or two or whatever, they've been in the process of getting a divorce. So now part of the divorce has become national news, at least on the conservative news, because the mother, who is, holy cow, a pediatrician, whatever happened to first do no harm, yeah, she probably wants to, like, because they're pushing all this SJW stuff within, like, the medical and community and social workers. A lot of this, like, stuff is coming through social workers too. They're getting this forced onto them through their organizations and through the colleges, and then they're pushing it on people.
Mhm.
And anyway, so this mother is trying to put this kid on hormone blockers, and the father doesn't want it, and it's become part of the divorce, of course. Divorce, of course, of course, of course. Anyway, and so this is like real big right now within conservative news circuits. So I don't know where you get your news, but I recommend switching to conservative news circuits, at least partially.
Okay.
Daily
See,
Caller and OANN are really great. Liz Wheeler, I
okay.
watch her on OANN.
Okay, I'll go check them out.
Yeah.
Here's my opinion on that. I remember back when I was younger, I used to put on my mom's makeup, her pantyhose, high
No way.
heels. Oh yeah, straight up. Like, I'm not even kidding you. But what
How old are we
had me,
talking?
huh?
How old were we talking? Like, how old were you?
Like 5,
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
3, something like that. And
But when
I
I was
remember
growing
saying
up,
all
if
the
a
time that
guy would
I
have
like girls. I
oh.
remember saying all the time that I like girls. That didn't mean I was one.
Well,
But
yeah,
the
when I was growing up, see, I'm older than you, so I grew up when I was 5, it was the early 80s.
Right.
And I was friends with the boys in my class. And I can tell you, if a boy had come into school and said, "Yeah, I put on my mom's pantyhose last night," they would have been, like, socially murdered.
No, don't get me wrong. I know back in the day, like I used to get made fun of all the time. People thought I was gay because I was into music. I was in choir. I loved the musical theaters. I loved dancing, all that other shit. Believe me, I used to get made fun of all the time in the wrestling locker room for being gay. And everyone, anytime someone would drop the soap, they would look around and be like, "Hey, where's Billy?" And I'm just like, "Fuck you guys, whatever." You know, typical guy shit. And see, the thing is I'm at the age now where I'm comfortable with my sexuality. I don't give a fuck if if someone calls me gay for something that happened way in the fucking past. Like it doesn't fucking bother me. Like yeah, I was 5 years old. I saw pantyhose on the fucking floor. I put them on my head. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Yeah, this
And
in the video where the little boy is telling his mom, "I'm a girl. Mom says I'm a girl." He has a towel on his head to emulate long hair.
mhm.
And the dad's like, "Does your mother do anything else like girls with you?" And he was like, "Dresses." Because he's only 3, he has very limited vocabulary in this video. So he's saying like
Okay.
dresses, and he's he's talking about she put clips in his hair, but it's very hard to understand what he's even saying. Like clips, hair clips, and
See, here's the thing. He's 3 years old. This kid barely even knows how to take a shit, let alone what gender he is.
exactly, exactly. He
So
doesn't
why are you
understand.
trying to push this kid? So he's 5. He's what 3 years old at this time,
Right.
and you're telling just because he comes up and says I'm a girl, you automatically think that he is transgender. I
Well,
remember transgender when it used to be considered a mental disorder. Do you remember that?
right. Yes, I do. I do actually.
Back
Well,
in
and
the day,
even
it
for
used to be
the
what was it called? It was called um fuck. I can't remember exactly what they
gender
called the disease.
dysphoria.
Gender dysphoria. Thank you. Back in that day, it was gender dysphoria, and I don't care what any guy says. At some point in his life, he tried on his mom's pantyhose, or at least played with her fucking lipstick and makeup, at least once. I don't care what any
I
fucking
didn't
guy
even
says.
play with makeup when I was a kid.
Like I don't give a shit what anyone says. Every guy has done it at least once. Here's the thing: just because they do it when they're 3 years old does not mean that they have gender dysphoria. And
Right.
yes, I'm gonna use the mental deficiency thing. Even like that shit doesn't bother me. I got a transgender friend. We don't agree on anything political, but he's my best friend ever. I love the guy to death, and I say guy because he has earned my respect to use his pronouns.
Oh, it's a
That's the thing.
biological female?
He is a biological female, but
Oh.
I use his pronouns because he has earned my respect to do so. He doesn't
Okay.
yell and scream at me whenever I make the mistake and I call him a she. He doesn't yell at me. He politely corrects me. He says, "I'm sorry, Bill. I love you to death, but please use my pronouns. She, so on, he, so on and so
Well,
forth."
and that's the thing is a lot of people are very upset about this this tyranny of the speech, you know. You must use my pronouns. Did you see the clip that went around of the guy in GameStop? Guy, girl, guy,
Yes,
girl.
it is,
It,
ma'am.
it
It
is
is, ma'am.
man. Take it outside!
See, here's the thing. He is screaming, "It is ma'am," in this Johnny Cash old school, like, deep voice. "It is ma'am."
I know,
And I'm just like, dude, I can't fucking take you seriously, my boy. You need to calm the fuck
not
down and tuck
only
your
that,
dick back between
he's
your
like,
pants before I whack
he's
you one.
slapping the fist and he's going, take it outside, take it outside, it is man, take it outside, like,
I'm just
so
like, dude, that's
ladylike
like
of
very
you.
ladylike. That is very, very ladylike, my dude. I think your hormone blockers aren't blocking that testosterone, there, boy.
Hello, thank you.
Like, dude, you on steroids? You need to calm the fuck down. Like, quit drinking all those fucking protein shakes. You about to blow a blood vessel. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, absolutely. And then yeah,
Yeah,
that
but
wasn't.
back to the point with the little kid. It's just like he's 3 years old. He doesn't even know how to wipe his own fucking ass yet, let alone his
Yeah,
fucking chest.
exactly. Well, yeah, nowadays they're regressing. Back when I was growing up, we were potty trained at like by two people were potty trained when
Mm-hmm.
I was a kid. But now, because I was
Oh,
like
I was the same
babysitting
way. I
someone
was
and
potty trained by the age of 3.
yeah, I know a lot of people that have kids who are like 3 and 4 years old and they're still not potty trained yet, and I'm just like, but the problem is because um that's stemming from basically both partners working
Mm-hmm.
and kids are being raised in a daycare and the daycares are not going to teach them.
Right.
So, or they
And
get a
here's my
nanny,
thing.
but
Like,
the
I'm all
nannies aren't
for
even teaching them and they should be.
I'm all for my wife working. If my future wife wants to work, fucking go for it. It's less pressure on me to fucking pay the bills and so on and so forth. But you also got to be able to work together as parents. Like, if you're going to work during the day, I'll work during the night. If you work during the night, I'll work during the day so that somebody is home with the kids and can actually raise them the right way.
Right. Yeah, or like, somebody has like family that lives nearby or something. So, like,
Exactly.
my parents got divorced. The divorce actually became finalized. I found the papers after my mom died. So, I had never known. All I knew was my parents were divorced growing up. And then when I found the papers, I discovered that the divorce was finalized on my second birthday. So that's how, like, basically, like, I was born and they were probably already getting a divorce.
Yeah, more than likely. But I mean, it's just if you want equality, you gotta own it. Like, don't be that cherry picking bullshit. Like, especially when women got the right to vote. Usually, with the right to vote, you have to sign up for the draft. You have to uh, be ready at any time to go into the military. No, most of these women don't even want that. They just
Right.
want they just want to be able to vote and fuck the draft.
So yeah, maybe that could be a thing. Like maybe well, I think in order to be able to vote, you should have to be able to like take some sort of proper citizenship test or something. I'm all for that. I'm like,
Oh, that reminds me of a video that I saw. There was this guy who went around asking people how many stars were on the American flag.
oh
And
boy,
I thought this was a great experiment, see who really fucking pays attention because it's not
it
that hard. There are
hasn't
50
changed my
stars on the
entire
American flag.
life.
Guess what? Not a single person got it right. Even one person said, "Oh, 13 colonies, 50 states, 13 minus 50, goddamn fucking 47." And I'm just like, okay, this bitch can't even fucking do math, let alone know how many stars on the fucking American flag.
Oh my gosh,
And the
13
thing was is that the
original
only person
colonies.
that got it right was visiting from Sweden.
I think I saw the video you're talking about.
And I'm like, of course the fucking Swedish girl gets it right. None of the Americans get it right, but the
They
fucking Swedish
never
girl
interview
gets
me
it
for this stuff because I'm a total introvert. I'm always at home. They always go out to places like beaches, and you get these like I call them those girls, hair, makeup,
Oh
nails.
my
When
god! But
they know
where
who
I come
they,
from,
huh?
we call them Valley Girls. Where I come from.
Yeah, exactly. And you ask them all kinds of crazy details about where Kim Kardashian takes a shit or whatever, and they know. They
Oh, she
know
takes a
the
shit
color
off
of
of
Kim
a 37.
Kardashian shit. I guess people don't really follow Paris Hilton anymore because she was really big. Kim
Bro, I haven't
Kardashian
even
actually
heard of
boosted
Paris Hilton
herself.
in fucking years.
Yeah,
I haven't heard of that chick in years.
but I mean, yeah. So like, I think Kim Kardashian is like the female celebrity to follow. I don't even know who like the other ones are, but like, whoever the other ones are, they know like all these details about them, and their life like revolves around like reading, the Inquirer. Well, I guess they don't. I don't know if they really even have this stuff anymore. But like,
See, that's
well,
the
I
thing
guess
that I
they.
absolutely hate about reality TV shows like that is like I'll watch uh what's a good reality TV show? American Pickers. I love American Pickers, even though that it's been come out as known as being fake, which is perfectly fine. I don't give a shit. But that's a good reality TV show. I'm not watching reality TV shows like Follow the Kardashians. I'm not gonna watch somebody go through their drama in their freaking life when I got my own shit to fucking worry about.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
I ain't gotta worry about that shit. I ain't gotta worry about whether or not your Botox didn't go right in your fucking ass. I don't need to worry about your lip tuck that got fucking re-injected. No, screw that shit. I don't need to know about that.
yeah, like with that stuff, I'm like, how can people care about this? And I guess that's the one thing is the old tabloids have probably been replaced by like Twitter and Instagram
Yep.
because girls who would have, copiously bought those sorts of magazines now are spending their time reading through celebrities' Twitter
Yep.
pages and
Yep.
learning their details from that. So I guess that's where that sort of person has gone. And
Yeah.
but yeah. So oh,
Like this,
so
this
so I was saying about how I was at my friend's house today and I think this could be like an in for conservatives because when I was telling her about this Texas couple where the mom wants to essentially chemically castrate this child. I am going to make a video on this, I think. Hopefully. A lot of times I say I'm going to make a video on something and I get distracted and don't. But I
right.
want to make a video on this. Anyway, I was telling her about this and this girl is like total Democrat. She's pro-choice, even though it's against the Jewish religion. She is always pro-immigration because she buys into this. Oh, but they let us in. It's like, yeah, but we weren't trying to blow us up. We weren't bringing drugs. Like,
Right.
and actually, they kind of didn't let Jews in. Jews kind of had to wiggle their way in a little bit. But and
Yeah.
even the Jews that were here weren't when the war ended, the American Jews who had been here like 100 years, they weren't pulling for the Jews that were trying to come in. And then when they came in, they socially ostracized them and stuck their nose up at them, We're
Yeah.
Americans, you're Europeans,
Yeah.
Um but so anyway, she's normally like any Democrat, any position, she normally sides with the Democrats.
Mhm.
And so I was telling her about this today, and she was like, "How can they do? How can a?" She's like, "How can a mother do that to?"
Oop,
Oh,
sorry about that.
okay. I'm like, did I lose him?
No, you're good.
So yeah, so she's like, how can a mother do that to their child? She has a son, already, and our whole community, like most people have kids. It's very
Right.
much within our culture. Similar to actual Christians, as opposed to like I put up a Christmas tree, therefore I'm a Christian. Because to Jewish people they think somebody who puts up a Christmas tree is a Christian, as opposed to a menorah. And I'm like,
Right.
well, Christians don't really view it that way. But
Yeah, exactly.
you know. But like practicing Christians, how they have a lot of kids, well same thing. Um Orthodox Jews tend to have a lot of kids. So, not only does she have one kid, but she's grown up with all, everybody, her sisters and everyone around her, they get married and they have kids. So she's grown up, we all I didn't grow up Jewish, but there's a very like you go to other people's houses for a Sabbath meal and there's tons of kids running around. There's just, you know, the girls, the women who don't have kids are always playing with other people's kids. It's a very like family oriented world. So, and she's just like she was just stunned absolutely stunned. She was like, how can a mother do, I don't understand, like how can a mother do this to her own kid? And it's like, like I
Right.
said, and she's a pediatrician, which I think is where it's coming from. But on the other hand, didn't you take an oath first do no harm? I mean, it's the same thing with abortion. You take an oath first do no harm, and then the next thing you know, you're getting paid $800 a pop to rip a baby apart limb from limb with sofa clamps, which are basically,
Yep.
um, they look like the tongs that you use, like, salad tongs, except the gripping is a little better. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've ever seen the live action videos about it.
It's here's that whole thing about abortion is that yes, I understand that women who get raped would want an abortion. Like, who wants to have a baby when the father is obviously a piece of shit for one raping a woman and two not stick and a father not sticking around. I get that, but here's the thing: is that if you were not meant to have that kid, you wouldn't have gotten pregnant in the first place. But the thing is that the rape portion of it is so small. It's literally
Yeah, that's
like
it's
maybe
like
2% of
no,
all
it's not
abortions.
even. It's not even a full percent. I think it's like a quarter of a percent or maybe a
Even
half of a
like that's
percent.
even worse. That's even worse because they're using that excuse all the freaking time, but it's barely
Absolutely.
even a full percent of why people actually get abortions. As to where the majority of abortions are because I'm not ready. Well, if you weren't ready to have a fucking baby, then why'd you let somebody stick their dick in your vagina?
Absolutely. That's what Jericho Green, another YouTuber, he always says that. I don't know if you've ever watched him, but he says, "Why did
Yeah,
you crawl up on someone or let someone crawl up on you?"
exactly. And here's the thing is that, oh, but I used a condom. Yeah, but if you want a 100% guarantee that you will not get pregnant, don't have sex.
Well, and another thing is, first off, I think a lot of people lie and say that they used one when they didn't.
Yeah,
But another
I'm
thing
pretty
is,
sure that's it.
I don't know if maybe they don't teach this in high school anymore, but they were very clear to us when I was in high school when they taught us how to put the condom on a banana, you know,
Hmm.
and they demonstrated in class. One thing they told us, they were like, very, very, very critically important is you have to hold the tip of the condom and then roll it down, because what you
Yep.
do is you push the air out so that there's room for how do I say this delicately, for the man to explode into, because otherwise when he explodes, if there's air there, that's what breaks the condom. If he
Yeah.
explodes into a spot and it's already filled with air, then
Yeah.
then it breaks open.
Yeah.
So
And see, that's
um
the thing is that even though that like even condom companies and other different kinds of contraceptives, they blatantly say this is not 100% effective. Birth control is not 100% effective. Condoms aren't 100% effective.
birth control
Spermicides
is
aren't
less
100%
because women
effective.
forget to take their pill. So
Exactly.
that's
And
why Planned Parenthood
I
pushes
don't
the
trust
pill.
women enough to be like, "Oh, you're on birth control." I don't trust women enough to say, "Okay, well, I'm gonna fuck you now just because you told me that you took birth control. I'm not gonna use a condom because you're on birth control." No, 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 no. I'm gonna use a freaking condom no matter what
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Um,
because I don't want like. I mean, I may be doing this right now, but I don't want a kid. I'm gonna do everything that I can. If you're on birth control, great. We'll have two layers of protection.
right. Exactly. Exactly.
Because women nowadays are very manipulative.
Right.
I hate to say it, but they are very manipulative and they will do a lot of things
Well, and
just to
they probably could tell that like you're a good guy.
yeah,
So you would step up if you got trapped that way.
yeah.
You know.
But most of the time most women are wrong about that because a lot of fathers, like my biological father, actually left us uh about a month, about 2 3 months after I was born,
Oh,
and then
wow.
my stepdad came in, and he's been my dad ever since I was 3 months old, and I've only ever known him. I've talked to my biological father maybe 3 or 4 times, if
AKA the
that.
sperm donor.
Yeah, my sperm donor. I've never called him my father. I've never, like, if he ever called me up and he said, "Hey, what's up, son?" I'd be like, "What's up, Richard? How you doing?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I
Because
said, my
he
parents.
lost the right to be called my dad as soon as he left.
So, and in my case, my parents got divorced. I don't know who filed.
Yeah.
Um, my mom always said that my dad cheated, but she never said, like, he didn't end up, like, with the woman that he was cheating on her with, whose name was
Yeah.
Phyllis. So, his girlfriend, the first one that I knew of him having, was Barb.
Hmm.
So, and that was a few years later. So I think like they got divorced and he was single for a few years and then he dated Barb. He dated her for 7 years. And eventually she lived with him. And then I ended up moving in and her kid lived there too. And
Yeah.
he came home and I was watching TV and he wanted me to get off TV. And I was like 9 or 10. I was probably
Hmm.
10 because I moved in when I was 9. So at this point, I was probably like 10 or 11. And I had a
Yeah.
babysitter. And I was watching something and I said, you can have the TV when my show ends. And I don't really have this concept anymore because you can go back and, but back in
Right.
those days, you could only watch a TV show when it was on. You could
When it was
not
there.
rewatch it. And, he was, and plus he had his own TV, but it was like a small little black and white, and I was in front of like the living room TV, which was color, and and a lot bigger. And I was like,
Hmm.
no, you can have the TV. And he like tried to boss me around, and I was like, look, you're not in charge of me. I have a babysitter who's in charge of me. You just got here. I'm in the middle of watching something. No, you can't bum me off the TV. And
Right.
he like picked me up and threw me across the room. His girlfriend was there. She was telling him to stop. My babysitter is just standing there with her jaw hanging down, didn't know what to say. And then the whole thing, my dad and his girlfriend at the time got in a fight. Obviously, she must have
Right.
taken his side, and my dad must have actually for once in his life taken my side, and she ended up moving out. So,
Right.
but yeah, so that's a total tangent.
Gotta love that.
I know.
I
This
think
is why I have no subscribers because I'm ADHD and I keep going on total tangents.
no worries. No worries. I've been kind of going on tangents as well. So, I
Yeah.
mean, this is an interview. It's not really a set kind of thing. It's a
Right. This is how I generally like when I have somebody on. I'm very casual about it. Like, oh, what's on the news? Oh, did you hear about the BAM guy, etc., etc. But yeah. Did I finish telling the story? So my friend, yeah, she was going crazy when I was telling her. She's like, but you can't. How are you gonna make that kind of a permanent decision? How are you gonna do that to a 7-year old? Like, she was horrified, and this is somebody who, on any other front, she either won't talk about politics at all or she takes the left side.
yeah.
You know, her husband is like one of those. I don't want to be involved in politics, but even he said, you know, how are you gonna do that to a kid? How are you gonna make such a permanent decision and cause, you know, both of them said, like, whatever, if somebody wants to do that stuff to themselves as an adult,
Right.
on the one hand, like, I'm still kind of like, why have we come to the thing is we're elevating it in our society, and that's one of the reasons why. But but when you start talking about children, this is when, like, pretty much, and I'm shocked that this jury There was a jury of 12 people, and 11 of the 12 people on the jury said that the mother should be able to make medical decisions for the children. And implied in that is that the mother can put the kid on hormone blockers. And I don't know what's going on, because I can tell you, if I was on that jury, I would have wanted to hear from the child. Did they not hear from the child? Did the judge not ask for this? Did the lawyers not push for this? Did
I'm kind
no
of
one
curious.
on the jury, bring this issue up? Because I believe if you're on a jury, you can kind of ask for evidence from the lawyers if
Right,
you're not getting it.
right.
To some
Like I
extent, I
would,
think
I
it has
would
to go
love
through a
to
channel, but
child. I would have loved to meet this child and hear his side of the story and
well,
see how cognitive he really is about this whole situation.
I mean, there's videos of him like, so his the next door neighbor to his father's house is also the that woman is also the mother of his. She has three boys and a girl, and so her three boys and the two twins, the five of them, they call themselves the Wolf Gang, and um these kids are like best friends. I'm guessing that they used to all live where the father lives, and it was the wife that moved out, because
Right.
that's what makes sense with that's where his best friends are. And that woman put up a Facebook page on his behalf called Save James. So people can look that up if they want. You can look that up. And there's videos on there of him playing with her boys. There's videos of him, the twins, and her boys. And he's not dressed like a girl. He's like running around with a cape, playing superhero like a typical 7-year-old boy.
Right.
You know?
I want to see this kid's side of the story because here's that whole thing again is again all men, all boys, I don't care how old you are, when you were at least like 3 or 5, you've done it at least once, say I'm a girl, so on and so forth. And if this kid really is a girl, he would not be displaying if he had the actual mental.
Exactly. This is the point conservatives are making. If he
Yeah.
actually had it, why isn't he pushing to wear a dress at his father's house? And the father said, like, I lay out a dress and I lay out boys' clothes and I tell him he can pick his outfit, and every single time he picks boys' clothes. And even some of the times when the father picks him up, like somebody said they went with the father to pick up the kids, and they were both dressed as boys when they picked them up. So the reality is the kid probably is kind of whining and pushing back. And even this next door neighbor woman, mother of the best friends, has said, like, she's been there when the father's like, okay, it's Sunday night, you gotta go home, you have school tomorrow. And not just James, who is this like major victim, but his brother also is like, I don't want to go home, I don't want to go to my mother's.
Hmm.
So what is going on? Like, these kids, and clearly they're not being heard from. And I don't
Clearly,
understand how 11 people on a jury could side with this woman.
clearly it's brainwashing. Clearly, absolutely 100%. This mom is trying to push her political agenda onto her children because of one instance. One. And that's it. That's all the proof that she has is just one instance of him saying, "I'm a girl. Look at me." Da, 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 da. No, 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 no. If this kid was a girl, if this kid was mentally a girl, society, I don't care what people fucking say, society has set the norm for men versus women. I'm not going to deny that. That is, I mean, yeah, it's bullshit and whatever, but women wear dresses, guys don't. Like, unless if you're Scottish and you got a kilt. Hell, men wear those all the time. But here's the thing here in America, men have certain likes, women have certain likes, and we have certain dislikes, and women have certain dislikes. And that's just how it is. That's how we are biologically made. It is not society. It is not society. It's fucking evolution.
Right. Well, and
And that's
here's
the thing
another
that
thing. I'm sure this child doesn't know that by saying he's a girl, he could potentially the thing that they make him take, the hormone blockers. It's not a pill. It's an
what's gonna
injection.
happen? What's gonna happen to this kid when he gets older and he looks back on himself after his mom has put him through this entire freaking process of getting rid of every ounce of freaking testosterone in his body, replacing it all with estrogen, with these fucking hormone blockers and whatnot, and putting him through surgery and all this mental help and whatnot. What's gonna happen to him when he turns 18 and finally realizes exactly what his mother is doing to him? It is going to destroy him not only mentally but physically as well.
Oh, absolutely. There's been cases of they actually started transitioning people back in the 70s. It wasn't really talked about. And then of course this has been like a growing thing to now where it's like trendy now. But amongst this first group of people, excuse me,
You're fine.
who transitioned, they they have people who have already detransitioned, and these people are speaking out.
Yeah.
Um, I started
Being
watching.
transgender is not all fun and games. It's not like you get politically famous just for fucking being transgender, which is why I think
Yeah,
some of these
unless you're
people do
Bruce
what they
Jenner.
do. I'm pretty sure that's why some of these people do what they do is just for the political fame.
Probably, probably. I mean, like Blair White hasn't gone through the down there surgery.
Yeah.
Um, and
I
Blair
mean,
said that he, she, whatever, is going to detransition to see if he, she. I feel weird. Like
it,
that's another thing. Is like even like if I want to respect someone and give them their pronouns, it gets very confusing when you start talking about like a transition person wanting to detransition to have
well,
kids. So
here's
Blair,
my thing about the pronouns. If you look like a dude, I ain't gonna have any problem. That is until you tell me that you're transgender. Then I'm gonna start having a problem up here of how I'm supposed to do all this stuff.
right?
If you look
So
like a man,
Blair
cool.
is
Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Just let me say, dude. Just let me say, bro, or whatever. He, them, where the fucking zebra. I don't fucking care.
yeah. So when I first saw Blair on somebody's stream, I thought, oh my gosh, what a girly girl. And then I
Mm.
discovered that it's actually a male to female.
Like
um,
with some of these people, you can't even tell. You can't even tell, and it doesn't throw you off. But as soon
right,
as they mention it, it throws you off.
right, exactly. So Blair
I don't want to.
actually, yeah, Blair had surgery to change like her chin line to make it feminine and stuff.
Mhm.
And but she never like had her. They don't actually chop it off. They like reverse it.
Right. They take it in and use everything to
It's
make it
literally a dick tuck.
You want to lose some weight? How about you have yourself a dick tuck?
Yeah, so
Oh man, that was perfect.
so
Whew.
so yeah, so Blair is talking about maybe or maybe can't have kids. And that's the thing is like if you do this, you sterilize the child. That's what like she immediately said to me like this will sterilize the kid and it's like yeah, I'm well aware like this is something conservatives are very on top of. So I'm well aware that it will sterilize the kid. I actually pulled up I don't think they can hear you if I switch, so I'll just read it.
Oh,
I don't
real
know if I
quick
can.
before you do,
I don't think
real
I
quick
can.
before you do,
What's
I
that?
have to. I said real quick before you do, I have to get going here in a few minutes,
Oh,
so
okay.
I
Yeah.
just want
So,
to let
so side effects of this Lupron, which is the most common puberty blocker, is hot flashes, sweating, acne, rash, itching, scaly skin, mood changes, headache, general pain, um, vag swelling, itching, discharge, breakthrough bleeding, weight gain, decreased testicle size. I think that's kind of the goal, though. Redness, pain, swelling, oozing where the shot was given. Oh, there's supposed to be more. I saw on another list that
Why would you go through all this just to?
man boobs are another side effect. Just from the puberty blockers alone can create man boobs. They called them something else, but man boobs. That's what they are.
Boobs.
Yeah. And like we're used to seeing man boobs on like fat men.
Yeah.
But like even if a guy is thin, a little skinny 7-year-old boy, he would get man boobs too.
Yeah.
Actually they probably would do this to him at 8 years old instead of 7, but I mean it's just horrifying. Anyway, so why don't you tell everybody, give yourself another synopsis. Your channel is Erasmus.
Yes, Erasmus, spelled Erasmus. Please go check it out. I do try to make some comedy videos with this whole political stuff. If you just want to get away from all the numbers and everything, come to my channel, have a good laugh. Also, check out my channel for my music that is coming out. Also, follow me on Instagram at lustfulblood_king. I will be very appreciative if you do that. Thank you so much for having me on your YouTube channel.
Oh, and you have a Twitter too, but I don't think you use it.
I don't use it very much.
All right.
I mostly use my Instagram over anything else besides YouTube. So.
All right, everybody. Thanks for stopping by my channel and coming to meet Erasmus with me. I'll see you all next time. Hang on. Outro.
Oh, well. People need to be awake and they need to be aware. They need to stand up against the stuff. Oh, well. People need to be awake. People need to be awake and they need to be aware. They need to stand up against the stuff. Oh, well.
And it's so politically engaged. And it's so politically engaged.